Alright, the title of this is Existential Benefits of Isolation. The few benefits that isolation can bring are peace of mind and understanding of the true reality of your existence. When you're alone, you only have to deal with yourself and the problems and motives that make you do the things that you do. When you're in a tribe, all of those things get pushed to the back because you have a level of comfort and faith that if you can't handle something, someone will always be there to lean on. When you are alone, you don't have that level of comfort, so you're completely at your rawest form, completely exposed psychologically, or so it may feel. You ponder things and really sit on them, contemplating the many enhancements of culture and their uselessness in existence. All of these things get pushed to the forefront, and that is only when you can fully appreciate what aspects of culture are necessary and what aren't. For some reason, we get around people we want to assimilate, yet be the best out of the tribe. This is hard-coded in our DNA for the sake of breeding. The best out of the tribe has the highest chance of breeding, for they are seen to be more fit and will acquire more suitors. This results in a heightened sense of confidence for both men and women and will result in other social benefits. But people in first world societies as of 2016 have removed themselves so far from the natural way of existing and have burrowed in a realm of convenience. The technological revolution has normalized luxury in everyday life. Humans no longer have the basic skills for survival, and at the rate we're going, pretty soon close to all human beings will not have nor know a single person in their immediate circle who has the basic skills of survival. Hunting, fishing, constructing shelter, knowing what plants are poisonous, and basically meeting all of their needs of survival. Example: if you ask someone how do you make chicken, they'll start by saying, oh, you go to the store. If you were to ask them what if there was no store, then what would you do? They'd have no answer. Now if you ask them what if they were lucky enough to find a chicken, then how would you cook it after it's killed? How would you remove the feathers? They would say, oh, just pluck them. But they would have no idea that to remove feathers fully, that you have to dunk the bird in boiling water before plucking the feathers, otherwise you're only going to make a mess. Little things like this that have been passed down over time are going to get lost across generations if ever a calamity were to occur. They would have to be rediscovered, pushing certain groups of people back thousands of years in certain aspects of life. In a couple of generations, basic skills of survival will be lost completely. An example of this is no one knows today how the pyramids in Egypt were made. Yet we have architectural masterpieces all around the world that couldn't exist along the time when the pyramids were first constructed. Yet we don't know the fundamental way in which those pyramids were built. Even the obesity epidemic represents this. A major reason why the obesity epidemic exists is because it's too easy to acquire food. If you want a burger, you just go to a burger. There's no McDonald's, you go to Burger King. There's no Burger King, you go to Five Guys. Go to Internet, there's thousands of burger places. No one has to gather the wheat and grind the grain. No one has to make the bread. No one has to shave the meat off the steer. And even if they had those aspects fulfilled, humans would still have to rediscover where the various cuts of meat are and rediscover proper seasoning techniques. Now, one could argue we're in the information age and everything is online. You can easily find that stuff out. Yes, that is very true, but that information is only there because there is a grid. The point that's being driven home here is that if something were to happen like an EMP explosion, all of that digital information is gone, and very likely for good. So it's essential to learn these basic skills of survival, and as many as possible. When one is alone, they can fully comprehend how fully dependent they are on society. When one is isolated, they are withdrawn from society. So who do they have to depend on? All of those things that people grow up thinking are important are only important because they are done for the reason of assimilation, to feel a sense of acceptance. Humans naturally feel comfortable with others who look and behave as they do themselves, for society is the macro level of the reflection of how an individual sees themselves. Tier 3 on Maslow's hierarchy of needs is love, acceptance, and intimacy. This is why people buy unnecessarily expensive sneakers whilst living in the worst conditions possible, for it allows them to feel like they belong to something, even if it's killing them. It's why the average college student buys $1,000 MacBooks when they're only going to be writing essays and using it for social media, when there's $100 PCs available. The reason is that they want to belong. There's no reason for these high-end companies with major markups to exist if it weren't for the attention that these products they produce garner. This goes back to the tribal need to promenade and promote oneself over others in order to attract attention from more suitors to breed and pass on their genes. These enhancements of culture and their uselessness in existence are fully realized when one is alone, and when integrated back into a social cohort, they will subconsciously begin to assimilate with the superfluous paraphernalia that goes along with it, even seeing their uselessness whilst they were alone. Everything in life serves a purpose. If you garner attention, a better fit partner or social group will notice you, and your sense of belonging is increased. Your sense of security is increased, and your chance of reproduction is increased. But when you're alone, without a severe schizotypal personality disorder, only then can you fully comprehend how dependent the individual human being is on others for survival.